Am I the asshole for potty training my niece and nephew?
Hi, everyone, and welcome to the very first episode of the Sucker Punching Skeletons podcast. I am your space ghost host with the most, Brian, and I'm joined by my fabulous co hosts, Noah
What's up?
and Evan.
I,
He
So,
gets
Noah,
quieter every time.
he's getting nervous because people are going to listen to his voice.
People are gonna realize that I'm actually a 70-year-old man. They're like, "Oh my God, what's he doing on the internet? How did he know how to turn on his PC?"
How is he playing
Anyway.
Destiny and recording this at the same time? Anyways, Noah, you started us out with a Am I the asshole?
Yes. So I don't know if you guys have ever heard of a little website called reddit.com.
I hate it.
That's where shooters usually come from, right?
Sure. But, sometimes they have these things called these little subreddits that people read for entertainment and to realize that they are better than most other human beings in the world.
Thank you
And
for
there's this-
informing all the people who have never even touched the internet what
Listen,
Reddit is.
Yeah.
Everyone knows what I
Yeah.
am the asshole is, man. Just read it.
No. Anyway, I gotta. Here we go. I, 30s female, have one child, a 2-year-old daughter, 26 months old, and am lucky enough to be a SAHM. Does anybody know
I'm sorry, say
what
it
that-
again.
an SAHM in all caps?
SHAM.
SAHM.
SAHM.
Anyway,
No clue.
having had the time and good fortune, I was able to potty train our daughter when she was 21 months. Every family is different, and this worked for us. She's been day trained reliably since about 22 months and night trained for the past month. My brother and his wife have 2 kids, Irish twins, which has been crossed out because I don't know why, who cares?
Twins recently probably died. Yeah.
What? That's not what that
That's
means.
not what that means.
What are you talking about? Do you know what Irish twins are?
Nah,
They were born in the same year, but they're not actual twins.
that's kind of dumb. Why would you even say something like that?
Anyway, my brother and his wife have 2 kids, Irish twins, 10 months apart. 3 male and female. Their daughter just turned 3 and their son will be 4 in almost 2 months. Both were still in diapers. No judgment there. We all have different lives and every kid is different. Oh my god. They had a chance to go to a destination wedding and asked if we could watch their kids for 8 days. I love my niece and nephew and am home anyway, so we said yes. On day 2 of their visit, my niece noticed my daughter's princess panties and asked if she could have some too. I said sure, but when you wear panties, you have to use the toilet, etc. I had a pack that is too big for my daughter currently and gave those to her. She had one accident that day, but otherwise took to it amazingly well. On day 4, my nephew commented on being the oldest and being the only one currently in diapers and asked if he could have some undies too, but not princess ones. So I had the same talk with him about using the toilet and practiced a couple times. We went to the store and he picked himself out some undies.
Can I
He
pause
had
for a second?
Okay.
How fucking boring is your life that underwear is a real determining factor of how cool you are as a person?
They're 3,
Like,
my
holy
guy.
3-year-old, my guy.
Dude, underwear was a very low priority at 3 for me. I don't know if you guys were like, "Oh my god, Dobby has given us a sock."
I mean, I don't think I would have cared, but also I probably wouldn't have wanted princess underwear. This is not the thing to be latching onto right now.
This is the thing to be latching onto right now. Absolutely.
Anyway, he has had 0 accidents and is dry overnight too. When my brother and SIL, I don't know why
Sister-in-law.
you need to clarify sister-in-law, but sure, came back, it was obviously mentioned that they were out of diapers. I mentioned that niece, I mentioned that niece has been wearing a pull-up overnight, but nephew is dry 24/7. My brother's first reaction was he was happy and thanked me. My SIL, on the other hand, got really mad, told me I had no right, etc. And it, what? And it that it's one thing to force. Hold on, what? Oh, okay. Told me I had no right, etc. And it that it's one thing. Okay, that's just wrong, right? I'm not. Am I having a
Yeah.
stroke? Okay, and that it's one thing to force my kid to do it when she's too young, but another to force her kids too. I never intended to potty train them. I figured I'd be changing diapers for 8 days, and that was fine. But when they asked, it seemed wrong to deny a child and keep them in diapers. Am I the asshole? No. This isn't
No.
even a question.
Like,
Fuck you for evolving those kids. They deserve to live in the Stone Age in their own shit and
And
piss.
what
Clearly.
human being says 3 is too young to learn to potty train?
They must
You'd
like
be
have a huge
surprised.
fetish with their
Oh,
It
changing
doesn't
diapers
sound
and
like the
shit.
dad does. It just
yeah, the
sounds
dad
like
was chill.
the
He was like,
sister-in-law
"Oh, thank
does.
God, I don't have to change diapers anymore."
That's a dad.
That's not even a question though. Like that's my favorite thing about a lot of these is that it's not even a question. It's either a hard yes or a hard no. There is no middle ground with a lot of these.
Am I the asshole for destroying my neighbor's life by accidentally dropping a nuclear device on his lawn and giving him stage 3 cancer?
See, that's a hard no.
Am I the asshole for invading a small European country? I, 52 male, have recently become in controversy in the Eastern Europe bloc. Wow, this is a real touching one. Uh, After invading a small country that I won't name, a lot of people have been really mad at me. They even keep blowing up things like my own pipeline and blaming it on me. To be fair, I may have done a little bit of war crimes here and there,
A
but I
little
feel
bit
like
of
this
war
is very
crimes.
unjust. I feel like this is very unjust for me and my people. I did everything for the hope that my country would go on. Am I the asshole? You know what, guys? This really speaks to me. No, bro, you aren't the asshole. Keep going, King. Yeah, can we talk for a second about how Reddit's a fucking cesspool for like advice? It's like going to Twitter for advice.
You know that you're bad when 4chan delivers advice better, honestly.
4chan, like, yeah, I mean, 4chan will be like, yeah, maybe you should shoot up that school, but like, I think Reddit holds a special disdain in my heart because it like really panders to people and there are so many gatekeepers on there. Like if you Google the most niche info on something, there's always some dude in the comment section huffing his own farts in a jar, acting like he's like God in the chat. Like I'll never forget, I was like looking up a Destiny 2 raid guide and instantly in the chat it's like Big Brain Man 3976 is in the chat being like, oh, you should already know these, but if you're doing this raid, if you don't, you should just uninstall the game and kill yourself. Like, yeah, I'm not gonna do that. Like, it's kind of, oh my god, I hate people, dude. It's
I
like
think
the worst.
that's just the Destiny community though, is like instead of like showing new people around, it's like either know what you're doing or stay the fuck away from my content. Like my guy, I just started playing 2 days ago. I know how to shoot and walk around. I didn't even know what stats were.
This is not great. This is
Nope, this is awful. This is an
not
awful start.
solid.
Can we can we hit the restart button on this?
Nah.
Should I browse more Reddit?
No.
Yeah, go ahead.
God, that was
Absolutely.
awful. Why did we think that was a good opening?
It's always a good opening.
No, it's not.
What's another really good subreddit with really crappy opinions?
R/atheism's always a good
That's
banger to go
okay.
to.
Always.
Come on, man.
That's low hanging fruit.
Is there like an
R
advice
slash
one?
anti-work. That's a group of
That's-
people who
It's also
would
awful.
refuse to work at all times.
What's the one that like they hate kids?
R slash
Not the pedo one. That's R slash.
No.
Antinatalism. Is it antinatalism?
Anti.
Well, donate to them, but they hate kids. I don't like kids.
It's not just that they hate kids. It's like
They hate people that have kids.
Yeah, they hate
Oh.
the idea of the human species continuing to propagate.
That's a little much.
Oh no. The first post. This guy. So the post is, this guy's sense of entitlement to a woman's body and potential child life is mind-boggling. And it's a screenshot of r/advice. BF feels betrayed because I take birth control. Let's see here.
God, it's recursive. It's a Reddit post being mad about another Reddit post.
So okay, here you ready?
No, but go ahead.
We've been dating for a year now, and he didn't know I was taking birth control. I didn't think that was a topic of discussion. I don't feel like I need to disclose this information to anyone since it's my healthcare. Anyways, he asked me why I was at the doctor the other day, and I told him that I need to go back for my birth control. He got really mad and said, well, that explains why you can't get pregnant. I asked what he means by that. Whoa, hold on. I don't like where this is going.
Yeah, I think I'm on. I think
our
I'm on
original
that guy's
poster
team.
might have a.
I think that guy has some fucking problems.
This
yeah.
is. I thought it was going to be like they were trying to get pregnant and she didn't tell him. Okay. He said that he's upset that I didn't tell him that I was on birth control because he thought it was strange I never told him I was pregnant yet. He told me that he feels betrayed that I've been using birth control behind his back. I asked him why would I get pregnant? We are not even married. Yikes. He said that we're supposed to have a baby first and see if we're compatible, and then will he think about marrying me after having his baby. He thinks whoever he is currently dating is obligated. This can't be real.
No,
that's another thing.
that's
I read a lot of
fake
these,
and gay.
My first thought is like, no, these people don't exist. I refuse to believe that these people exist.
Fake and gay.
Yeah. Whoa. Whoa.
Why are you still browsing Reddit?
Oh my gosh.
Why are you doing this?
What the heck? Because I'm a degenerate, Brian.
Evan, you wanted to talk about something.
Which one? Which item?
I don't know, anything other than Reddit, please.
Don't worry, I got this.
Do you want to talk about Fushigi?
Oh, yeah. So,
please inform me
about food.
no, it's not about food.
No,
so,
it's not about food.
remember-
It's Fushigi.
So
Oh,
no,
I'm
you
sorry.
remember in the early 2000s where like you'd get online and Nickelodeon and like fucking Cartoon Network and even Discovery Kids was all shilling like these subpar products like I forget, like magnetic sand and all this other crap. One of those
sand.
One of those items was an item named
Oh my
Fushigi.
gosh, I just looked it up. Okay.
Yeah, and Fushigi was this stupid fucking ball that was just basically a mirror ball. And the only reason that anybody bought it in America was because the guy who was selling it was like super excited. And I remember the commercial like to the T because this dude like started out, it's Fushigi, and like he's like got like this thing set up and he's getting all these cool early 2000 teenage kids and early college students and they're like fucking having a blast of Fushigi. They're like moving around their hands. I remember like this one chick said like this is the best thing she's held ever, and
Yeah,
like
it was
you know
basically
like
magic.
yeah, and like it's a magic ball, and they're like doing all this shit. Like I remember, like this dude was like, he took it and he was moving it up and down with his hands, and I was like, oh fuck, that's awesome. My tiny brain that probably hasn't even developed sentience yet is like, well, I need this ball, and thank God my parents weren't dumb and they never bought it for me. I hate the fact that that ever crossed American markets. I don't know who the fuck
What-
bought that thing, but
I mean, there
holy
were so
shit.
many of those things though that they were all fake.
Like
So-
I'll give Aqua Sand a pass. I'll give like the Betty Crocker bake sets a pass for burning down houses in America. I'll give a lot of shit passes. I am not giving Fushigi a pass. Fushigi rots in hell for all I care. That is the worst of them because there is no marginal benefit to that thing. It is a mirror ball. That thing should have been in Dollar General, but for some reason it was $19.99 shipping and handling. And I remember there was like some dumbass deal where you could get a mini Fushigi ball
If you
if you
paid
bought it.
separate shipping and handling, I'm sure.
Yeah, it's like it was so dumb. So I guess on that topic, what like dumb product do you guys remember from our childhood that you like thought as an adolescent fucking idiot that you needed or you'd die? Because everybody
That's
had
a
one.
really good question.
Zoo books. Oh my god, Fushigi is $40.
There's
What?
no way. To
You
this
can buy it on
day,
Amazon today for $40.
No.
It-
No.
you can
That
get Fushigi
cancer.
Magic Gravity Ball. All the
What-
pictures
what is-
are
how are they-
just.
How are they selling it?
They're just. Hold on. I'll share the link.
Okay, because like I just want to know how somebody's like, oh yeah, we'll sell this thing.
I'm
Like
putting it in
early
general.
2000s, you could have sold anything. You could have sold.
Yeah,
fucking,
dude,
like,
everything was on there.
It's in general.
Okay, here we go. Here we go. I just
As-
found.
As seen on
I-
TV, free DVD included to teach you dozens of illusions.
Yep. Yep.
Ages 12 and up. Fun for all ages.
Okay, guys.
Innovated
I
product.
found a top 10 list of as seen on TV toys. Let's see if you remember any of these.
Mhm.
This one I remember vividly. The Marvin's Magic Drawing Board.
No, I
don't
don't.
remember that
That's
one.
like
Okay, so it was
that's already on
literally
the gate.
it's literally just like this chalkboard looking thing that you'd run like the pen or some scraper over, and it would basically just reveal the colors behind it. I don't know. It was just
That looks like, what's it called? The like you're supposed to use like water with it or whatever, right?
yes, yeah. I'm pretty sure.
Oh, I remember that now. Yeah.
Where it's
that
like
was-
it's rainbow, but you have to like
It's literally just rainbows. Yeah, there's nothing more to it than that.
yeah.
just a gimmick product. Like you're done with it in 10 minutes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a bad Etch-a-Sketch.
It's an even worse.
Actually, an Etch-a-Sketch is more useful because it requires creativity, whereas that product
That's
like
what I
has
just that's what I just said. I said it's a bad Etch-a-Sketch.
well,
Meaning Etch-a-Sketch is better.
imagine you're dying and your kid comes in like, and he's the only person you have left in life, and he
Hold
comes.
on. Are
sits
we
on your
about to enter the Evan hypothetical land?
Yeah. No, it's more
Alright.
just like it's more like what would you do, I guess.
Oh, okay.
So
We
you're
get
dying.
I feel like we need a musical like intro for Evan's hypotheticals.
We can do that after we hit 100 subscribers.
After it's not just us listening to these.
But it's not just Anna listening to these while she's drawing. Hi,
Honestly, she
Anna.
will. Yeah, we'll just shout out people who definitely listen to this. I'll listen to this at work because I listen to nothing but podcasts at work.
Yeah.
You can
Hi,
listen to the
Evan.
sound of your own voice. Hi, Evan.
So, but no, so imagine you're old, right? And you're dying because you're old and you didn't take good care of yourself. Too many Diet Cokes, right? And that's happening, right? And your kid walks in and he sits down right by the foot of your bed. He says, "Gramps, don't worry. I got something to keep you entertained while you're here." And what he pulls out is the Fushigi, and he says it's for all ages. And he walks out. Do you kill yourself with it? Because I think I would.
Just unhinge your jaw and consume it.
Shove it down your throat.
Hope that it chokes you on the way down.
It'd be the first time a Fushigi was useful to anybody.
I'm sorry. I just scrolled down. The titty bear.
What? I'm sorry.
I'm playing the video.
That's
Oh,
not
it's a little teddy bear that you put on your seatbelt that
Oh, it like
goes
stops you from getting
over your
bruised or
chest.
whatever.
Yeah, I guess it's so the seatbelt doesn't rub against your open skin because you're wearing your whore clothing. What? I never saw this one. Probably because it was called the titty bear.
Yeah, that must have
Titty
been on
bear.
Adult Swim.
Honestly.
It looks like
I
it should be a
refuse to
Tim and
believe-
Eric sketch. What the
But
heck?
to keep on topic though, what is one product that you guys remember as a kid that you like begged your parents up and down to get you, and like you look
So,
back on and you're
my
like,
thing
thank
was
God.
I never really did that because I knew I wouldn't get it if I asked for it.
Also, you grew up on PBS, so how many?
I grew up on PBS.
How many things were on PBS?
Just
Like,
Arthur and Cyber Chase, and that's all I needed.
well, I meant like commercials.
No,
but
that's all it
like
was.
that.
There
There
were
are no
hardly
commercials.
ads. It was all paid for by viewers like you.
Let's see.
They just advertise their
So,
own shit.
I didn't have like okay, I asked for a lot of them. Like I vividly remember asking for zoo books, and
Zoo books. I
like,
remember
but
those.
zoo books are like kind of understandable. Like they still make them today, and it's like, oh, there's at least knowledge there, right? The thing that I vividly remember asking for that I'm glad that my parents never got me was sea monkeys.
Mm,
And you know what's really weird is that I never saw an ad for sea monkeys. Do you want to know why I wanted sea monkeys?
Hey
Bec-
Arnold.
No.
Dang
There
it.
is a there
That's-
was
I was
a
gonna say that.
Disney Channel original movie, a DCOM if you will,
Uh-huh.
that was about this kid who he got a package of sea monkeys, and the sea monkeys like they packaged them either like above or below some secret evil scientist's lab,
I'm
and
already refusing to believe this is real.
and they soaked no listen they
Oh,
soaked
I
the
remember this.
they soaked the like sea monkey eggs in this weird green serum or something like that.
And
And
then they come out, and then you see them.
well, so yeah, they come out and you know they're sea monkeys, uh but the kid accidentally gets a piece of hair in the sea monkey tank, and the sea monkeys eat it, and then the sea monkeys turn into an exact clone of him.
That's not.
Brian, you ignited a story that I want to tell after we're done with this the TV commercial segment here, because like, holy shit, that ignited like a memory in my
That
memory
just
bank.
awakened so many
I
memories.
mean,
Yeah,
we could probably go
um,
off on
hold on.
DComs for forever.
forever.
Mm.
Hold on, I'm gonna look it up now because
Can I like
Yeah,
can I like tell my
list
story
of-
while
Go
you guys
for it.
Yes,
formulate? So my
please.
dad did cave once, and well, it was on his own terms because he had one as a kid. He bought me an ant farm, but my dad went all in and he got me these fire ants ant farm. So he told me very specific orders. I cannot feed them. He must feed them. So I got this ant farm. So it was cool. It was hanging out on my dresser, and I loved watching it. And they burrow, and it's actually a really cool thing. It's really cool because you get to like learn how they dig tunnels and stuff. Well, a few days go by, and I mentioned to my dad, "Hey, I need you to feed the ants. Like, it's coming around time according to the manual." He's like, "I'll get to it." A few days later pass. It's now been a week. I'm starting to see these ants start realizing there's no food, so they like start organizing, right? And my dad goes on a business trip for a week, and I'm like, oh no. And my mom doesn't want to fuck with it because my dad genuinely got like fire ants, and so what starts happening is an ant civil war breaks out where they start cannibalizing each other, and I'm watching my 9-year-old ass looks over at his dresser to watch a just war of survival break loose. They start building tunnels for graveyards. It is a fucking disaster and mess. I am watching in horror as my tiny ant colony that I told myself I'm the mayor of is now resorting to cannibalism and looting. And like it gets to the point where my dad gets back from the trip, there's like 7 ants left, and the bodies are just so many bodies that they didn't even bother burying the rest. So like they originally would bury them in like the bottom like chamber. So like there's just a mass grave. They had to build a second tunnel due to the amount of death that had occurred in that week.
What?
Yeah, so my dad finally looks at the ant farm. He's like, "There's no point feeding them." I'm like, "Dad, you need to feed them at this point. Like,
Please feed
just
them.
give them what they want." And you know what happened? They didn't eat. It makes me wonder if they just said to themselves, "It's not worth living anymore."
my
I mean, if they would have destroyed the queen, then yeah, there really was.
Oh my! No, the queen died like when the Civil War started week 1. The queen died second day of the Civil War because
Yeah.
I forget, the soldier ants were the first ones to go fucking crazy. You could tell who they were. So they started killing the drones in the main hive chamber, and then the queen tried getting in the way and they ate her.
Yeah.
So
That's
it went shit face. So
belly
from
up
then on,
real quick.
the workers started like rebelling. So we had a Karl Marx ant raised from the grave and decide he's going to lead the rebellion. He, I, I tried to keep track of the leaders to record their history because someone must remember this great crusade. And I don't remember what happened to him. I'm pretty sure he got like killed, like every communist does, in his sleep by the CIA. So, like, yeah, that just moral of the story. Don't get fire ants, so your kid can actually feed the ants, and then like he can actually enjoy his ant farm rather than
What
be
a
like front seat to abject horror.
what a strange
It's-
life you've led, my friend.
Terrifying.
It's just like it's sad too because my dad just thought it'd be nice because like he had one and like everything. He just didn't trust me because I was a clumsy little bastard with shit, which I was.
You drop your
Like,
fire ants in your
it,
house.
it'd be something I'd do, and then we just have an invasive species of fire ants in like the state I lived in as a child that I'm not gonna list publicly. So like it's just like god. Yeah, I feel bad for them, but they were also assholes. Like I looked it up later, like fire ants suck. So like I was like,
Yeah.
not the worst.
Yeah.
But but yeah, so ant farms, they're cool. Just feed them.
Ant farms.
Just feed them.
Just feed.
So I found the Wikipedia page for the decom that I was talking about. It is called The Other Me. And here's the
Alright.
plot synopsis. Will Browning is a student who does not perform well in school. His father says that if Will does not improve soon, he'll be spending his summer at Camp Spartacus, a boot camp for boys which will help him learn responsibility and discipline. To make up for his grades, Will orders a science project from the organization Ocean Pups. Two scientists, Victor and Conrad, who work there, want to move out and work in a quote unquote real lab. They make a breakthrough where they create a process of cloning they call hypercloning. But when they leave, a clone lab mouse escapes, and the cat catches it all over the lab. Then it accidentally knocks over the cloning formula, which drips through the cracks of the floor and all over an Ocean Pups kit. When Victor and Conrad find out about Will ordering the kit, they decide to spy on the house and take the possible clone back to the lab for experimentation. This is a Disney Channel movie, keep that in mind.
Jesus.
Basically, I won't read it word for word, but basically the kid clones himself because he like stirs the sea monkeys up with a comb that had his hair on it. He starts sending the clone to school because while Will is smart, the clone actually wants to try to be smart. So like he sends the clone and he sits around and eats pizza all day. He names the clone Tui.
creative.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the kid's like, who knows? He's like young teenager. Uh, let's see. The scientists spy on his house. They think that the clone is the real Will. And then I think they must kidnap the original Will, thinking he's the clone. Yep. This is great. Tui comes and rescues Will, having learned his location from the telepathic connection that they share.
Of course. You're acting surprised, Brian.
I
Keep up.
forgot. Tui is dying because it turns out that that the clones only have a lifespan of 4 weeks. It says Tui is dying, but Will is able to feed him a mixture that he took from the scientists that will give him a normal lifespan. Will explains everything to his family. The scientists are arrested. The cops get suspicious, but Will makes up a story that Tui is his identical cousin, Gil Putman from Belgium, and everyone, except for the scientists, backs him up despite being in shock. The only ones who know the truth are Will, his family, Tui, and Chucky, Scotty, Will's grandfather, Victor, and Conrad. Will renames Tui to Gil, and the family adopts him, promising not to let anyone else know. The film ends with Gil asking to have pizza for dinner, as the family wholeheartedly agrees.
Would you like to hear a little fun fact?
Sure.
So I clicked on the boy's name from your movie.
Mm.
You want to hear some of his most recent work?
I'd love to.
Please, yes.
So the latest on here is Mistletoe Mix-Up, where he plays Seth, of course.
Mm-hmm.
The next is a TV movie, which I'm assuming Mistletoe Mix-Up is also a TV movie. It's just not listed as one. A Deadly Deed. He plays Jonathan. Okay.
Okay.
The next listed is Battlefield 2042 Exodus, where he plays Pekowski. Does that mean
Like as
anything to
in
you,
the
Evan?
video game? Hold on.
Was it the? Fuck, I don't know.
He's also in Battlefield 4 as Clayton Pekowski.
Oh, he's he's Pac. Yeah, no, he's a reoccurring character from 4 and 2042.
Okay. Well,
Hold on.
to top this all off.
Oh wait, hold on. Before you
No,
continue,
listen.
let me rate him. Let me rate him. He sucked. Pac was
He's
a very. He's awful. Never hire him. If he wants to come on the podcast and defend himself, he's more than welcome to. He sucked.
Now listen. In 2020, his last role was Iggy in Money Plane. There's no reaction, so that tells me that you guys don't know what Money Plane is.
I have no clue what
Is
Money
that the
Plane
Jake
is.
Paul? Is that the Jake
It is
Paul
not
thing?
the Jake Paul movie. It is the Kelsey Grammer, Adam Copeland, and Thomas Jane film. You guys know who Kelsey Grammer is, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Of course, yeah.
I don't
Totally.
think I know.
Evan. From Frasier.
I told you I know him. Like,
Okay. And if I'm not mistaken, yeah, I think Adam Copeland he's a wrestler. Yeah. A professional wrestler who wrestled as Edge. So it's a movie that is Edge, Kelsey Grammer, and somebody named Thomas Jane, who I don't know. Like, who cares? So, the film takes place on the money plane, right? I think
mhm.
we're all.
Mm.
Would you like to take a guess as to what the money plane is?
Is it a plane filled with money?
It is a plane
Yes,
filled
bro.
with super criminals that gamble on illicit activities the entire time. I think like one of them is like they throw a person in a pit with like a gorilla or something or alligators and like who's gonna win? Something stupid like that. It's terrible. It's fantastically terrible, and I would absolutely recommend to watch.
You've watched Money Plane before?
I have not seen the whole thing because it's not something I could do on my own. It's not something I could watch on my own.
Fair enough.
But I will say, Edge is fantastic.
So, following the trend of awakening, what's it called? If we get big enough, I'm gonna have to make a childhood trauma video on this because that's a thing people do, right? Have you guys ever heard of the movie called Star Kid?
Star Kid?
Star Kid.
No.
So here's the premise is, and this is all you really need to know because this movie, like, for the longest time, I struggled with a fear of aliens, right? And I'm 95% sure this movie is why.
What the?
Yeah. Don't look at the images tab because it gets worse.
What is that?
The premise of the movie is there's
Hold
this
on.
kid. Okay.
We need no. We need to use what the heck? We need to use our best descriptive skills to explain what it is we're looking at.
I don't.
Before anybody that ever like watches this somehow tries to go look at it themselves.
So So what are you looking at specifically? Is it?
So I'm assuming this is a suit that our titular Star Kid wears.
So there's the suit, and then there's the alien who lives in the suit, and that is the wall of flesh with eyes and the foaming meth mouth.
Oh.
So
I mean, I guess the best way you could explain it is the ultimate Power Rangers reject. With eyes.
Do you know what Guyver is? It Guyver? I think it's Guyver. It's an anime where this guy dons an alien suit that it's like a biomechanical thing and it like slowly will kill him or something like that. I can't remember. I could be wrong. It reminds me of that. Because it's a biomechanical biomechanical suit that looks like if you took the head off of a gray alien, gave it blue eyes, and then stuck it on top of a reject Power Ranger villain. And that is the hero. But the worst thing is on the inside of the suit, because what happens in the movie is there's this kid and this meteorite falls into this junkyard that's next to his house or whatever. And he goes and he is like, oh, what is this? And the suit like opens up and grabs him and consumes him. And then he's face to face with the inside of the suit, which is, like I said, it's like this wall of biomechanical flesh that has these glassed over eyes and like an always open mouth that like is terrifying. And it starts talking to him and it's like, you are the only one who can save your planet from the invading bug people. We have to work together to do the thing. And the kid's like, what the hell is going on? And it was
this kid
terrifying.
He grew up to be in Bohemian Rhapsody, The Social Network, and Jurassic. Well, I guess he didn't grow up to be in Jurassic Park, but he was in Jurassic Park as Tim.
It was
that annoying little shit.
Really?
He's like, he gets
That's
shot.
what it says.
I'm surprised he didn't get bullied like little Anakin Skywalker did into running a car through a barricade.
You mean for his role in Star Kid? Or
Yeah.
just in general?
Just in general, he was kind of annoying in Jurassic Park.
It wasn't that bad.
You're too nice.
Yes, I am.
Well, this is also Brian. He'll defend any Jurassic Park to his grave.
That is true.
I don't mind Jurassic Park. First Jurassic Park's great.
So yeah, that was that. So Star Kid gave me trauma. In case you were wondering.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know. I just wasn't able to watch a lot of things because I thought I knew a lot of these Disney movies, but you just named two that I'd never heard of before.
You gotta
So
realize though, Disney makes like 12 stinkers and then like one movie that like
They're all bad. All the Disney Channel original movies are bad. Nostalgia be damned, they're all bad.
wasn't there
I don't
one that
know.
was like about racism that was actually like really good? Is like
About racism.
Color of Our Friendship or something like that. And
I've
like
never heard of that.
it's like this black family that like they're hosting this South African girl, and they're like the one it's about two girls, or it's I think Color of Friendship or something like that. And like the one girl, she's African American, she's like super excited because she's like the only black girl in her school or something. She's like, oh, we're inviting someone from Africa, I can't wait, you know, someone who's going to be like me. And then the day arrives and the girl is white, and the girl thought that she was going to be hosted by a white American family, so she's like, oh, because she's from South Africa and like apartheid is a thing. And
So-
I
so
feel,
it's all
I
about
feel
them
like her family would dash that against the stones if they do. Like, oh, by the way, she's white. You know, like why drop that on her ass at the airport to make a
because
scene?
it's a decom movie that needs to make as many excuses as it can to like have the plot going on. Do you
I
really
mean, if
think
we-
that
if
other
we wanna
decom
talk-
movies are like splendid things? Like,
If we want to talk about traumatizing films from years past, I watched Kick-Assia recently.
Mhm.
So
I thought
that's
you said
something
that you were gonna wait till we could all do that.
I couldn't do. I had to watch it because I've heard about it for years, and I couldn't hold back from watching it. Do you know what Kick-Assia is, Evan?
No.
So do you know Doug Walker?
Do you know who the nostalgia critic is?
Oh! This is the movie that they made that only one guy wanted to make, and it's like super
That
cringe.
Doug wanted to make.
Yeah, and it has
Wha-
like the one. Hold on, I want to make sure I get this right. It's like part of the plot is there's a guy who owns a country, and it's just his house.
Okay, so it's a piece of property in. Oh, I'm not gonna be able to remember where it is. Hold on, let me see if I can find. Let's see. It doesn't. Yeah, it's a 1 acre quote unquote nation called Molossia.
Yep, I know exactly what we're talking about
And
now. 'Cause I've
so
seen parts of it.
the nostalgia critic calls together his group of nerds, and they want to take it over so they can rename it to Kickassia, and that's the plot.
You know what? I'll tell you. I've seen the intro. That's about what to expect quality-wise going forward.
The audio is terrible, the writing is terrible, the jokes are laughable, and the fact that they're the most unfunny things in the world.
and I
You
also
really have to like know who each person, like you have to have had watched these people's videos to really understand like why they're doing what they're doing and why these autistic kids are freaking out like they are. And it's mind-boggling, dude. I was literally watching it the entire time with my mouth just like wide open, agape, if you will, trying to understand the level of insanity that has to be going through your mind to make this and like think that it's not the word. Like I know they weren't trying to make a good film. That's beyond clear. Like they were trying to just do something with a bunch of tropes from all their video, like their own personalities in their videos, and it's just the worst. It's the worst.
But did they have fun making it?
no.
I don't know.
I can already tell you that that's a no because I don't know how recently you watched it, no, but it came up on my YouTube earlier today when I was at work, and I can tell you beyond a shadow of a doubt There are some scenes where people definitely do not want to be saying their lines or definitely do not want to fucking be there. I do think it was a Doug project just based on that. Like
Oh, it is. Yeah.
it
Yeah.
is
It's all.
it is
I mean,
people
he
are
ran.
super uncomfortable.
Yeah. He runs the company that like these creators worked under.
Yeah, that guy with the glasses or whatever it was called.
Yeah.
You can tell he's the only one jazzed to be there. I'll say that because holy
I
shit.
will say this because like, so there's a lot of Doug Walker slander out there, and I am a part of that because
I perpetuate it.
I perpetuate the slander because he makes. I still sometimes go and watch some of his videos, just not really hate watch, but to see like where he's at. It's still the same garbage it's always been. But as somebody that like as a child used to watch it and was like, haha, funny, he screamed. Like, I get it. I understand why you can go after this guy. But he seems like a genuinely nice person and that he thinks that like what he's doing is funny and creative and like he's doing it from a place that I believe is honest.
I agree. Like when I watched him and from what I've seen, like Doug's not a scumbag. He's just
No.
trying to make laughs. It's just like his comedy's not like
It's just that I think
it's
he's
not
in
off
this position
target.
of he's in this position of power and other people below him don't want to like I don't know, make him mad.
Wasn't there a whole
Because-
thing where we found out there's like sexual abuse going on with
I don't there was like a big thing that
like-
happened. I don't think that was necessarily true. I know that I guess her name Lindsay Ellis, the nostalgia chick, she left like real early on. Like she was not a part of that guy with the glasses for very long at all because she hated she hated being there. She hates Doug. Like
I wonder
a lot.
why.
I feel like Doug would be hard to work with. He seems like when he seems like he has a target, he's like there and on it. Like I don't know. Like throughout that whole that kick assy up film that I saw, I haven't
He has
seen it
3
all.
films.
Yeah.
That's
To
unfortunate.
boldly
He
flee.
should have.
Boldly Flee and is it Suburban Nights? Yes, Suburban Nights.
So
That's gonna be a bad movie night then. When?
So okay, we can do Suburban Nights. I think that's doable. I've heard To Boldly Flee is the most miserable watching experience that there is. So we'd have to. I feel like we'd have to have a couple drinks. All of us would have to be there in order for this to be possible. But I am
Halloween party.
totally down for that.
Honestly, like real talk, we should like when we do our camping trip, we should have Luke bring out the projector and see if we can't like save it.
We'll stream all of them. We'll do
stream
a,
To Boldly
do a
Flee in the
marathon
middle.
of these. I am
middle of a
all
state
for
park.
Yeah.
We should absolutely do that.
That is
That'd be
100% the best way to have like a skinwalker or a Wendigo come over and just like maul us to death. Like not even for like sustenance or anything. It's just like, how dare you bring that into my territory?
It's like, hey, I got kids here. What are you doing? What are you doing?
Come on, get with the times,
Yeah.
guys.
Absolutely, we should. Yeah, it's
see-
funny. I don't know how true this statement is. I've heard it as a rumor, but apparently, so I don't know if you've ever watched any of the Nostalgia Critics videos, but he usually has like a cast of people that work with him. It's usually these 2 different people, like this girl and this guy.
Yeah.
I've heard they're both very nice people, but so apparently, because for the longest time he would just do movie reviews and like there might be a little skit here and there that goes along with the movie, but that was it. As he gained popularity, his skits became overblown and just way too much.
Are you gonna
So
talk about the wall?
I saw Noah his older stuff where he like actually did movies that were nostalgic, and then like I
It
saw
wasn't bad. Like his old stuff, like I think it wasn't bad.
well that was
Right.
his whole shtick back in the day from what I read, and then like they showed a clip of like him doing a review of like the last Star Wars movie to come out to date, whatever the hell it was called, and like it's
who cares? It's cool.
anyway, it like he showed it and like he had Kylo and like I'm not gonna lie, that takes a lot of effort, but like man, was
He
it
puts a lot of effort into it, but it's legitimately the reason I stopped watching him for a long time was because like they're so boring and bad. Like it
Yeah.
adds nothing to the review. It's just clearly something that he wanted to do. And I've heard that the two people that work with him are like, I mean, he writes us a check. like,
He writes us a check.
like we don't like doing these skits, but like he's paying us and like he seems to really want to do it. So we're like, okay, like whatever. Like and they're legitimately painful to get through to get back to him actually reviewing the movie.
I
Like,
mean,
he did it for the Matrix movies. And good lord. I
that's,
swear his bits were longer than the actual review.
are you forgetting about The Wall?
See that's a whole other that's
Pink-
like on another stratosphere. The
Him
Wall
reviewing Pink Floyd's The Wall by basically recreating it shot for shot with some furry gore porn artist.
That's the thing. That's the thing. I don't think that Doug understands the internet. I don't think he understands it. Because I think he looks at the creatures.
I disagree with that.
No. I think he looks at the creatures that they made, that he had made for that. Because his whole thing was like, I need to make these outlandish creatures. Like, if I want to make something that's better than what Pink Floyd did for The Wall, like than the creatures that they made. I want something better than that. He found the closest guy he could that was like, I know somebody who makes like creatures. Didn't realize that when they sent over the mock-ups for these creatures, that these creatures had mother-bearing hips and massive bazongas and looked like they had like the "take me out behind the woodshed, please, daddy" eyes. And like he saw those and like, oh yeah, those look creepy. I like those. Those are nice.
They
That
look
would
creepy
work.
for the wrong reasons.
Like I don't think he understands.
I want to disagree with you. I'd say that I think he had his finger on the pulse of early internet memes in like 2010, like when iFunny was unlocked. Because anytime I see a skit of his, it reminds me so much of what everybody laughed at back in like I'd say about 2012 to 2013 and shit.
Yeah, he's got that on lock. The problem is he hasn't
Changed it in
updated.
10 years. Yeah, exactly. So he's just been sitting there with the same kind of like humor because like the humor now is so much different than the humor from back then.
Yeah,
Yeah, you could say that again.
Because like, Bad Luck Brian was like a fucking
that was a
gem
good
of a
meme back in the day.
Yeah, and like that's kind of level my homie's at right there is Bad Luck Brian. He's not really at like, internet historian levels or John Tron or anything like that. Like
No,
skits have like really went up in a lot more comedic value and stuff. I just think he views himself kind of on target with like John Tron and internet story.
JonTron was a part of his Halloween intro video for a long time.
That's cute. That's adorbs.
He came in and would stab him and said, "That's for reviewing Food Fight."
It's for reviewing Food Fight.
I remember that vividly because I saw John. And I was like,
Something actual
YouTubers.
good. Something of actual redeemable quality.
I don't know, man. Like, I don't know. I don't. He's funny to dog on because he's genuinely a bad creator.
But he's not a
But
bad person.
no,
I mean,
he seems like a
what
genuinely
is
nice
his view
guy.
count? What's his view count? Like,
I will look that up. I'm actually
it's like,
genuinely curious as to what he's at.
if the homie's getting the views, like, who gives a fuck if he's making cringe content? But he's certainly making enough to pay some guys who clearly don't want to be in on his fucking shit.
So
to
what
do
I've
it.
really like come to respect about him is that he's really good. Really? Oh, okay. That's not an actual review. Where's his last review? His last review was 2 days ago. Wow. The Princess and the Frog, 180,000 views.
That's not bad for 2
That-
days.
That's not bad.
It's not
That's not
awful,
bad.
like
but that's
that's
probably
like
not him at
living
his peak,
wage.
though.
And honestly, like he's probably monetized every time. So like he probably raked in 100% of that money.
His Jurassic World Dominion, which was 2 weeks ago, he got 256,000.
Mm, mm. So he's averaging about 100, 200K then.
Yeah, which I wonder. Hold on. Let's see if I can't see his. Da, 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 da. What's his most viewed video? Sort by most popular. His most popular video was 7 years ago. Oh yeah, dude. Like 5, 6, 7 years ago, he was averaging almost 5 million views.
Yeah, I mean, so like right where we said kind of like Sirica, his like comedy, because like now and like don't get me wrong, like I'm gonna be real, like it's not like his shit's out of this world cringy. Like you guys know, like all the fucking late night show hosts and shit, and like SNL, like he's
Yeah.
SNL level funny. It's unfortunate that like people think it's funny. I really do think like I don't know, if I was him, I'd almost look towards like making my shit like Facebook clips and then like making them before the movies come out and then make funny little gimmick like things so when the movie comes out, Facebook moms will be like, "Oh, here's this clip. Isn't that cute?" Because like I can't tell you the amount of times my mom has like shown me clips from Facebook that are like Darman or something, and I'm like,
Oh yeah,
"Oh,
I've seen, not my mom, but I've seen moms on my Facebook feed posting stuff. I saw a mom that posted that reposted. Remember when Ethan Klein actually made videos and he made
yeah,
those videos about the fake kidnappings?
yeah."
I saw a mom on my feed share that video.
What are you doing? Are
The
you out of your mind?
wait, the Ethan Klein video about the fake
No, not the Ethan
kidnappings,
Klein
or
video, the actual kidnapping videos. Like literally the exact same ones.
go figure.
It's
And
it,
I didn't know how to feel about it.
it's so weird that Facebook's kind of like this recycler for content and stuff from like years ago, and like they just throw it out there into the universe, and Facebook moms are the target audience for it.
Well, what did I share earlier today on Twitter? It was Margaret Thatcher's quote against the who was it? The
Oh yeah.
against the
The
Irish
yeah.
whatever. I can't remember the name off the top of my head. It's late. Uh it's like you have to try every time. I only have to succeed once or whatever got turned into a Facebook quote, and it's like her basically telling the Irish like rebellion like, yeah, no, you're part of Britain, like you're not going anywhere. That's getting
So
shared around as a motivational quote.
since we're kind of on the topic of bad content creators, and this is something I've really wanted to talk about for a little bit, and I just remembered. Um, so do you guys know Nick is not green?
No,
No.
fine.
Oh my god. Oh, so he's been in a lot of videos with like people that I do watch, and like every time I watch him in a video with somebody that I like, I watch. I'm not like super big fans, but like I'll watch them, and he's in it. I'm like, this guy, he's not funny. Like, what does he do? So I watched one of his videos, and I like didn't even make it halfway through. I was like, okay, yeah, he's boring. So, do you guys know who Brendan Schwab is, or Schaub?
The name sounds familiar.
So he was, I think he was like an MMA fighter or something, but he decided he wanted to become a comedian.
Oh yeah, you know why his name sounds familiar? Joe Rogan has him on all the time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's not a good comedian. That's he he kind of
Right.
sucks.
I'm gonna be honest. Can I be real? Can I be
Yeah,
100? Can we
do
start
it.
like a war here? Most of the MMA comedians that Joe Rogan brings on are not fucking comedians. They are just Joe Rogan's friends who like
Yeah.
had.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, no, it is.
100%.
It is really annoying where like he'll bring them on and they'll do a 3-hour podcast gatekeeping the fucking community. Being like,
Yeah.
yeah, us comedians know what a joke is. I'm like, shut the fuck up, Joe. Like, you're okay. Everybody else you bring in that didn't come from the comedian community sucks ass. Like, goddamn.
Yeah. Anyway, so the Brendan Schaub guy, he did a comedy special. It was like called Gringo Poppy, which
Okay.
he's. I don't think he's Hispanic. His name's Brendan, but his wife is Hispanic, I guess. So he like that's like 90% of his comedy, and it's not funny. So anyway, Nick is Not Green did a video on it, and like I've been hearing about this guy's terrible stand up for a long time. I was like, I don't want to watch it, but I just like I want to like get the gist of it. So I was like, oh, this guy, he made a video on it. A lot of people seem to like this guy. I'll watch it. So I'm watching it, and I'm realizing that I'm not laughing at anything. Not Brendan's jokes, not Nick's jokes. And then it gets to a point where I become livid. And that's when Nick points out that there's a man sitting in the front row at the comedy show wearing a shirt that has "Don't Tread on Me" on it, the snake.
Mm-hmm.
Of course. No
And
step
so-
on
Innocent flag.
So of course he can dude, the mental gymnastics. He sees that and goes, "Just so you know, this was made the Don't Try to Me was made by Benjamin Franklin, who was a notorious racist." Which like yeah.
And
What?
like
Thanks,
all of the
man.
founding fathers were not great people when it came to
You can
race
literally
relations.
say that. You
But
can
hold on,
literally say that for anybody.
it keeps because apparently I guess it's being used as like a white nationalist thing or whatever. I don't know. I'd never heard of that. I've only
Uh,
ever seen "Don't Tread on Me" by like
It's
don't step on Snack.
the
Yeah.
don't step on snake flag got like heavily overtaken by alt-right communities and Trumpies who wanted to use it during the
Okay.
January 6th attack. They used it, so it's kind of now a bastardized flag from the party, from the Libertarian Party itself.
Okay, but
Mhm.
like that's not the point. Not the point of the flag isn't racism, and it isn't whatever. And he literally, this made me so mad because this is such a cop out garbage thing to do. Is he points that out like in this crowd, and he says all this stuff about it being a racist thing, which it's not. And he says, "Well, I'm just telling you that information. Do with that what you will." And I'm like, I will murder you. Are you kidding me?
I will kill you.
Like, are you
In the ring? No, in
You're-
real life.
in real life? You are insinuating that this man on the stage is a white nationalist racist, which I don't know. Maybe he is. I've
mean,
never met the guy.
There's
But
always
you
a
are
chance.
insinuating
but-
that because of a guy going to his comedy show wearing a shirt. Like that's not content. You're just being a dick for no reason.
Are you really going to ask the guy who has the show called "If You Cringe, You Smoke"? Are you expecting good content from him?
That is not a real thing, is it?
I just looked it up. He's got an entire show called "If You Cringe, You Smoke." And so like, yeah, just don't
that video
don't
got
watch
a million views, Brian. A million views of this guy calling somebody a racist because somebody else is wearing a shirt of "Don't Tread on Me" to a comedy show.
You are peaking real bad on my end, my
I'm
guy.
gonna be honest. One of the big reasons. So I have looked up comedy shows in the past, especially for like people that went on Joe Rogan's podcast, because there's a few like Joey Diaz who like are fucking amazing.
Yeah.
The problem that I keep seeing is like the comedy community is very gatekeepy about shit, and you get kicked out really fucking quickly. And it's not just assholes, because like I've looked that up, and there's been some like discussions on from a lot of different communities, like Reddit has one, and then there's a few others on like Google reviews and shit where like people have been kicked out for laughing too loud or like doing other shit. And
What?
like, yeah, like one guy got kicked out for trying to find a quiet place to call his wife about something, and he got kicked out. And his whole table got kicked out because of that. And then, like, Joe Rogan sits there and he's like, well, that's just the biz. I'm like, I'm fucking sitting down paying $80 to listen to somebody crack a joke. Like, I'm sorry, I get it if, like, there's one dude heckling too much, but, like, what the fuck with, like, the rest of this shit, It just is so weird to me. And,
But my main point of this is, I hate. I genuinely hate like the reaction content, and I'm not talking about reaction content that's like the people just sitting there watching something. I hate that too, but I hate that for very different reasons. I hate the reaction content or the commentary content that just is big for whatever reason, and they just are wrong.
It's moral grandstanding.
Yeah,
I'm a better person than you because I believe X, and if you believe Y,
because I'm not
you're wrong.
racist. Like, okay, like it's so painfully stupid.
Speaking
Anyway,
of
I've
painfully
just wanted to
stupid,
rant about that for a while now because like I kept thinking about it and it just kept making me mad every time I thought about it.
fair
And
enough.
like I quit watching the video after that because like you've made no points. It's clear that his stand up is bad. I can see that from the jokes, the few jokes that you've actually shown and didn't bother to break down or do anything. Like as to like even though I think breaking down comedy is the stupidest thing in the world. If it's funny, it's funny. If it's not funny, it's not funny. Like if you laugh, you laugh. If you didn't, it's not funny to you. Like I don't know, man.
I
It's
also don't.
subjective.
Brendan also kind of like backpedals a lot during like uh Joe Rogan's like talk shows and
No,
shit.
he's an idiot. He's a genuine idiot. From what I've seen of him, he's an idiot.
I mean, he came from the MMA community. They're not really known for like critical thinking skills or anything.
Yeah.
Man.
He
Like
got a
that's
couple
really
brain cells knocked out of him.
He's an
During
idiot
his-
that may or may not have tried to cheat on his wife multiple times.
A real stellar character here.
But
Huh?
do I think he's a racist?
But he's not a
No.
racist, dude. That's really where it's at. Yeah, no, I hate people who do that shit. Like it is weird to me. I don't know. It'd be one thing if the dude went in with like the fucking like Confederate flag T-shirt on and shit, but like he went in with a "Don't Tread on Me" shirt. I mean, what if he
Even
went?
if even if
What
he
if he
did
went
walk in with the Confederate flag T-shirt, the guy on the stage didn't tell him what to wear.
It's like it's one of those things where again I'm gonna go back to the fact that like that dude paid like probably close to $200 to sit there. He's not wanting to get wardrobe advice from you. He wants to laugh.
Yeah.
Like that's it. Like, dude, like what the fuck? Like the last thing he wants to do is be made a fool because you like don't like the "Don't Tread on Me" shirt because some fud wore it once or something.
Yeah.
Also, it's a "Don't Tread on Me" T-shirt, man. Like it's not a Nazi flag, and he's acting like it's a Nazi flag. Like what the fuck? Like that's my thing.
Going
Like
all the way back to say that Benjamin Franklin was racist was like like something snapped in my brain when I saw that.
there's
What do you
so
want
many
to?
other dumb items he could have worn. He could have worn a Trump hat. He could have worn like a Biden Harris T-shirt. He could have worn a lot of shit.
But saying that is like the same thing as people that are like that get mad at a creator or whatever when their fans go after somebody. Like all that you can do as like a person with that kind of power is say like, "Hey guys, don't do that." And after that, it's up to the morality of the person to not go do that.
Yeah.
And it's like you can't blame people for their like you can blame them to a certain extent for their audience because it's what they're putting out there, I guess. But like beyond that, there's nothing you can do to control like who's watching you. It's just stupid. People are stupid, and I hate them.
Speaking of stupid people who you hate, I have something that I want to rant on, and that will probably be our last topic for the night since we're quickly approaching an hour and 15 minutes.
Okay.
I've told Evan, but Noah, are you aware of what Peach Creek is?
I am not.
Are you aware of the old Cartoon Network show by Danny Bonaducci called Ed, Ed, and Eddie?
Of course I am. That was my favorite show.
Ooh, then you're in for it. You're in for
Oh,
it just with me.
please tell me it's not.
Peach Creek is
Oh my
a
gosh.
high school reimagining,
No.
unofficial sequel series to Ed, Ed, and Eddie.
Who did this and why?
A bunch of Australians. And like, okay, here's my
What?
soapbox, right? So let me get this off my chest. I don't care if people like want to do projects like this. That's fine. Like it's the equivalent of fan fiction. So if you want to like make an unofficial sequel series or whatever, go for it. Give it a try. As long as Danny Bonaducci and Cartoon Network aren't suing you, I feel like you should go ahead and do it. But you should be able to take criticism. They've
Oh
released
no.
2 mini-sodes so far. Uh and those mini-sodes have consisted of a lot of still animation, which is fine because like I'm not going to critique the animation.
Animation is hard.
Animation's hard, and this is like a small group of people doing it. I don't feel comfortable being like, oh, the animation's awful, because like I don't know how much time has went in. I can't critique that really. Um, what I am going to critique is the writing. The writing in the second minisode, the one that was supposed to get everyone super hyped up for it, uh, is basically a still image of a bong that sometimes the background shifts, sometimes some things change around, and the entire jokes in the minisode are, dude, whoa, we are in high school now, drugs and weed. Also, Double D, you're still a neurotic nutcase. You should smoke weed. Ha ha ha. LOL. It
Oh.
is like awful, awful writing. It like is not very good at all. I feel comfortable critiquing the writing because I write and I consume enough media that I feel like I can tell what a good story is. I'm not.
It's interesting to me that like they went that route. Like, why not go the route of like them trying? Like, I don't know. There's a lot of different ways you could have done that and still kept. Because like the thing that made Ed and Eddie like good was that like Ed and Eddie they were basically fucking losers the entire
Yeah.
time. Like they never got the upper hand in any of their schemes.
They never
Uh,
won.
Well,
they never did win, and like I think like the show does a really good job of showing that like they kind of only had each other,
mhm.
and I think that's like part of it. And like you never grew to hate anyone in the show except maybe the Canker sisters for sexual assault.
I think I
But
hated
other than that,
Kevin, but like,
yeah, and even with Kevin, I mean, sometimes they'd be like straight up like trying to get with his babe. Like I get it, you know.
yeah,
Homie's defending his fucking turf. I mean,
Yeah.
good lord.
right.
Like gotta, and then like I'm gonna be honest. Ed is like scamming you every 10.5 minutes. I mean, good God,
Yeah,
I would also be an asshole to him, you know.
that's fair. But I
But
just feel like what we've seen so far completely misses the mark of what Ed, Ed and Eddie was. Because like I don't know how you can have an Ed, Ed and Eddie story without like the whole point of Ed, Ed and Eddie was to be a comedy about these three losers who are just trying to scam people out of quarters so they can buy jawbreakers.
Jawbreakers, yeah.
Yeah,
it's the whole point, and they
that
never
was
get the fucking jawbreakers.
exactly. That's the whole punchline is no matter how much work they do, they build an entire fucking city out of cardboard and they still
I
can't
always think
manage.
back to that episode that they build an entire city out of cardboard, and like I love that episode because it gives such a very like to this day it's kind of a creepy feeling of like this fake city,
Yeah.
and them
Yeah.
getting lost in it. Like you can't help but be like, man, that's such a cool concept
Mhm.
as a kid, you know?
Right.
Like
And
uh,
It was a fantastic show.
There's so much
even like
creativity. There's so much like
the
there,
final episode was great too. I mean, like I don't know, like it's one of those shows that I never am like, oh, they need to reboot that because I think it ended so nicely.
yeah, it
You
did,
know,
I
it,
think
like
it was fine
honestly.
the way it was.
it really it ended with them not. Did they receive everything that they wanted? No, but like,
No.
did they all get closure in the end? Yes.
To be
Yeah.
fair, nothing should ever be rebooted, in my opinion.
I think we should
Let it
Yeah.
reboot
die.
things that were awful and like actually try and make them good. Ed, Edd and Eddie was amazing and should be left alone. And again, this
Yeah.
is a fan project, so it's not like Cartoon Network
Yeah.
like was like, yes, let's dig up a corpse
Well, even
and
in the
put it
cutting
on
room
display.
floor,
But Brian, you were saying that they couldn't take criticism.
Yes, no. If you go into the comments, at least this was the case when it first came out, right? Because I started following this about a year or two ago, I want to say. Let me see how long ago the post, the first one went up. Uh, oh, Peach Creek. Boop. I'm not like
Oh my
subscribed or
gosh.
anything, but I started like I was turned on to the concept of this show about a year and a half ago, right?
hmm
I think it was just like I found it in my recommended their first video up, which has 1.6 million views, uh, and it's the unofficial teaser, whatever, right? So you go into their minisode 2 called Bong.
Brian, I think these comments are heavily censored.
Well, the pinned one is, dude, weed Lamau, those fucking voices, shitty meta humor, that soy boy ending, fucking awful. You go down, you find,
This is the best comment. No
yeah,
other comment can beat it. Yeah.
yeah,
And then it's a bunch of people making fun of the guy that commented about how bad it was.
yeah. No, they definitely like
These comments are censored
they
to
have to
hell and
be
back.
because it's not good, and like they
Notice
aren't.
how they smoke in the back of a van, Ed and Eddie's room, but never in Ed's room. Really compliments Ed's character as being the most cautious and rule-abiding one of the three. On a whole, though, this is really good stuff.
Two Smokies and one Bandit immediately brought me back to the original show whenever Ed would say something seemingly random but perfectly clever and fitting in the moment. I've never been happier to see a sequel.
Huh?
No, that was not funny. It was not a funny line. The line
Steve
is
knows
something about like, oh, we're smoking weed, so we're two Smokies and one Bandit because
Yeah.
Smokey and the Bandit. It's not clever. It's not
No.
good.
No.
And like my guy,
They made a super easy, barely an inconvenience joke. It's another guy who
Yeah.
does actually entertaining videos. Oh my
It's
gosh.
real quick side tangent. Do you guys remember that they used to hang out at the dump in the original series, and the dump
Yeah.
was like really cool?
Yeah.
mhm.
Like there was like a bunch of cool shit
I
in there.
wanted to hang out at a dump because of
Fuck,
that.
I
there,
wanted
there
that
was like a
shag carpet van.
there was a B-17 bomber in there. You guys remember that? It was just like
Yeah.
randomly just a bomber was stuck in there. I don't know. There was like an episode where like the zombies were coming or something, or at least they thought. Remember that? And it was all in their head. Like just really interesting concepts is like very acentric. Just one episode on its own, and then it doesn't continue. I forget the term, but like like the
Asynchronous, yeah.
asynchronous episodes, right? So they thought they were surrounded by zombies, and they were like pretending to be soldiers at the dump, and they
Yeah.
thought they were losing each
Oh
other.
yeah, that was a
And
good
there-
one.
That was a good one. And then like there's one where Plank's missing, and then like everybody else is slowly going missing, and they're
Do you-
like very concerned.
Do you want to know why I think that this is a concept could never work besides the fact that it's a terrible idea?
Why?
Have you ever watched the show All Grown Up?
Yes.
The worst.
I liked it, but not for
Brian,
the
you're wrong.
but not for any good reasons.
Dude, they took a
It
bunch
was
of
so-
likable characters as babies and then made them all insufferable.
I
They
know.
all became
Talking about
terrible people.
Are you talking
I
about
know.
Rugrats where they
It's
were all?
Rugrat. It's the Rugrats
I remember
sequel.
this. Yeah, Rugrats where like it was supposed to be kind of trippy in general. Like it was supposed to be a baby's interpretation
Yeah.
of their surroundings,
Let's
which was
make them high school kids and
yeah.
also the worst human beings on the planet.
I don't remember them being that big of
They
pricks.
were bad. You watch it again. Like they are
It's
annoyingly
because
bad.
they decided to do a lot of the well, if so and so says something bad, they need to learn the lesson, and they just decided to turn it on to all of the kids, and it's not good. But I
It's
can
not.
like things that aren't good.
I guess that's true because
I-
I enjoyed Kick-Assia, but still,
I'll admit that All Grown Up is awful, but that doesn't
it's
stop me from
so
liking
bad.
it.
It's so bad.
Peach Creek,
I
on the
remember
other
as a kid
hand,
watching it and being
it's
like, "This isn't how people should act."
Remember when they built?
That's
Remember
just
when Ed
Kaido,
and
though.
Eddie built a cruise line on their local creek bed, and then they had Jimmy hop on it with Plank and the other kid, and then the Kanker sisters came in as pirates and captured them, and they went through feats of turmoil on the ocean.
Yes.
We don't have to keep rehashing this. Ed and Eddie was a fantastic show.
There was my
That era of Cartoon Network was almost flawless.
I think it's just because they let creativity flourish, and like I won't lie, there is some shows that Cartoon Network did allow past that was a little past our dates, like Amazing World of Gumball. I saw a couple.
Gumball is very good.
Gumball's pretty
Yep.
good.
Gumball was like good, and I'd say like there's a couple others. I'll put Adventure Time on that list because I did enjoy Adventure Time.
Yeah.
But if I had to like pick and choose, like I'd keep Ed and Eddie.
I mean, it was Ed, and Eddie, Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends,
Yeah, Courage the Cowardly Dog.
Courage the Cowardly Dog,
The
was
Powerpuff
a
Girls,
Powerpuff Girls.
The City of
Um,
Townsville,
Samurai Jack.
which was just gorgeous. Yeah.
Yeah.
Can I just talk about the Samurai Jack and Johnny Bravo bumpers real quick that they
Oh
run?
God, they're
Like them,
perfect.
I want, and people on Twitter want it too. So I'm not the only one. I want a buddy cop movie that's like in the style of Who Framed Roger Rabbit, but it's Samurai Jack and Johnny Bravo.
That'd be amazing.
And it's just like they're going around a city that
It's like
is like
Samurai
populated with
Jack-
Cartoon Network
Samurai-
characters.
Samurai Jack's taking it very seriously. Meanwhile, Johnny Bravo's hitting on every woman that walks around.
Exactly.
But guys, could Johnny Bravo be on TV today?
Yes.
No,
Yeah,
not
good.
anymore. But who fucking cares?
I mean,
It doesn't
like
change the
I
fact
don't get the fact that people don't understand that like it wasn't like
he's
the,
not a hero.
the series was making fun of Johnny.
Yeah.
Yeah, the
Like,
whole
that
point
was
was
the
to make
joke.
fun of
Yeah.
chauvinistic men.
Yeah, it was like he never wins. It's not like Johnny would like then get the girl and leave. It was always like Johnny would wonder why he didn't get the girl, and then his
Get
best
punched in
friend,
the
who was
face.
a 12-year-old Girl Scout, would then be like, "Oh, Johnny, come help me with my bake sale," and then some smoking hot blonde would show up, who's like a distant cousin of hers.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then
And
he'd
that
go
was-
hang out with his grandma.
Yep.
Then he hang out with his grandma because he does have a soft
It's
side.
his
'Cause He is
mom.
a person.
That was
Oh
his
yeah,
mom.
it's his mom.
It's his mom
she
and his
just
mom
looks like a grandma because
she's
Johnny
been-
Bravo's like what?
because she was put through a lot with Johnny because Johnny's a fucking handful.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I just like you can't really remake a show like that because it was a fucking masterpiece. Like there was really not that many bad episodes. I'd say like it took a little bit of a turn when they like were doing school and shit. But even at school, like you had some banger episodes where like they kept a lot of gimmicks and like the characters did develop outside of like their friend group and like all their stupid like shenanigans. So they got older, and I think at the end, the last episode was like just perfect where they kind of like get their closure and all the characters kind of grow up in in those episodes, you know, and they kind of like the community kind of gets around them and everything, which is great because they were like outcast the whole time. So I don't think you really need to remake that. I don't think there'd be much sense in making that. And also like I don't know how well like Ed and Eddie would translate to today because like Ed and Eddie was like made like mid 2000s, right? So like
It's very mid 2000s.
Yeah.
so like and like they did a lot of weird things that I don't know if shows would do now. Like you never saw an adult. You never saw an adult in Ed, Edd n Eddy. Like that never happened. That was one of their things.
Hmm.
I don't know if like because
Fairly Odd Parents almost did that. Like you never saw his parents' face.
I want to say that's a nah. I thought you saw them pretty quick. Like
It was like
Uh,
after a season.
I think at first they probably were planning to not do that, but they ended up doing that, obviously.
yeah, because I
Yeah.
was about to say I know like
Because the dad became like one of the best characters in the show.
Yeah.
yeah. If I had one.
Goldberg.
Dang
But yeah,
Goldberg.
no, man, Ed, Edd n Eddy, like I could go on for hours about it. Like, just great show. Makes me really want to rewatch some episodes before I go to bed
Oh my
tonight.
gosh, I forgot to even bring up Teen Titans too. Was a part
Yeah.
of that era.
Okay,
Teen Titans,
let's put a pin in Teen Titans because that can be its whole own podcast
well, I
episode.
I won't lie though. Like, I know that Brian, you want to put it as your own podcast episode, but I don't think it's been bastardized as much as like this show is trying to bastardize Ed,
Mm,
Edd n Eddy. Because like
No,
the new
I
Teen Titans is
The new
not.
Teen Titans is the worst.
I don't know. I think it's got a different tone to it because I see
oh
clips of
yeah,
it all the time, and
it's
I'm
got a
just like.
different tone to it. But did you realize that the writers for Teen Titans Go never watched a single episode of the original Teen Titans?
Well, yeah, and it kind of makes sense because I'm gonna be real. They aren't trying to copy that old show. Because I will lie, if I had to pick between this old show and the new show, I'd pick the old show, 100%. Lots of very interesting character developments. They kind of
Actual
laid
story.
actual story. They had very complicated love relationships that like kind of showed that were very hard to articulate to kids, but yet very well succeeded. Like it was interesting. It was a great show. I loved it. It was very dark and gritty for a kids show, but it kind of remained like a really cool kids show, right? This new one is complete opposite. Like color palettes completely opposite. Jokes are all around, so like everybody's kind of a zany character, but the writing's not awful for a kid show. Like I'll go ahead and give that argument. Is it the same? No. And is it like good? No. Not as good as like the new one for that.
I could go off on how bad television
Yeah,
is now, but we don't have time for that.
yeah, we need to start putting a fork in this because we need to be done. Anything to plug, gentlemen?
I would like to plug Ed, Edd n Eddy. If you have not watched every episode, go do so. There are some very awesome episodes, and you will fall in love with the characters, even though all of them kind of suck. Well, no, just Ed sucks. Really, when you think about it, the rest of them are just victims of Ed's shenanigans, to be honest.
I think you mean Eddie,
Mm.
because Ed is the best.
Ed, okay, so
Uh,
there's Ed with the 1D, who's the moron.
Eddie,
Double
Eddie,
D, which is
Eddie
the
is the
smart
leader.
one, and Eddie the leader.
Eddie is probably the one who does the most shenanigans. There's occasional episodes where like Ed gets grounded by his parents, and actually that's a great episode too, where Ed gets grounded by his fucking family, and they take his actual stairwell.
Oh
I
yeah.
remember that. Anyways, we'll talk about it maybe next time.
Yeah.
For the people out there who are still watching, thank you for making it through an hour and a half of us bloviating about our
Put
childhoods
it on in
and
the
other
background.
things. If you like this for some reason, you can like and subscribe, and hopefully we'll make more of this whenever I get it all edited. Shout out to our fantastic designer and Evan's girlfriend, Anna, who is making us a new logo because the one that I made it's okay, but I know that whatever she makes, I haven't seen it yet. I know it's going to be amazing. So yeah,
Yeah.
that's it.